This video is going to demonstrate how you can upload titles into an existing OCLC knowledge base collection. And in this case, we're going to be doing ebooks on EBSCO. So first, I just want to point out everything I'm going to talk about is available in the Poundly Hub. If you go into the Documents area, into the WMS folder, there's a KB Tools folder, and that has a document in it called VLOOKUP. And the document looks like this. And it's useful because right inside the document is a nice Excel formula that we're going to be using in order to select the titles that we've purchased for upload into the knowledge base. So you'll want to go and find this and make sure that you locate the formula that we'll be using. But I'm going to start out basically if in a situation where I've purchased a bunch of titles from EBSCO in this case, and I've downloaded or the vendor has provided me a list of the titles. So in this case, I've got about 107 titles that I'm going to want to load into the knowledge base. And while I could go in and just activate them one by one, it might be faster if I do a batch. So what I want to pay attention to in the file that I've been provided is this book ID value. So this is a unique identifier that's assigned by EBSCO. I can use this identifier to basically select the books that I'm going to upload into the knowledge base. So what I want to do is go into OCLC Service Configuration or WMS, wherever you're getting to your knowledge base, and go into Collection Management and look up the collection you want to load titles in this case, eBooks on EBSCO host. Now I've got some titles activated in the collection already, so I'm only going to be selecting some new titles. I'm not going to be overwriting this collection because in this case, I've got all of these books activated that are provided to me by Inspire. So what I want to do is actually download the available titles in the collection, and this is going to be all of them, all several 100,000 titles. And I'm going to use the available collection to select the books that I have actually purchased, and then re-upload those in KBAR format. So I'm going to download available and hit go. And while that downloads, I'm going to go ahead and actually open up the file I've already downloaded. So you'll want to go in and select the file. It is going to be a text file. It's going to be a very large file. And when you open it, you will need to select UTF-8 as the encoding. It is a delimited file. It's tab delimited. You can leave that like that. And then just finish and open. And again, this is the file I'm opening from OCLC. Okay, so here is my file. And as you can see, it's very, very large with basically all the titles that are available in the entire collection, so 600,000. Okay, so I want to look at this column here. This is the title ID, and this title ID from the knowledge base actually corresponds to the book ID that EBSCO has provided me in my receipt of books purchased. So I'm going to actually copy this column. Again, this is the file from EBSCO, and in my file from OCLC, I'm going to create a new column and just paste my book ID in there. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to select the column that I just pasted in, just all of the values, and I'm going to assign those a name. And that's so that my formula can reference this set of values. So I'm just going to call it books. And then finally, I'm going to create one additional column. And this is where I'm going to put my formula to tell me if the book is held or not. So I'm going to go back into my VLOOKUP document and grab my formula. And then I'm just going to paste that in. Now you can see it already knows that I'm in the right column. It's looking at this L column. This is the title ID column. And it's going to look in my books range to see if this number is basically in this range that I just purchased. All right. So this particular title is not in the set of books I just purchased, but going down the list, it's going to tell me which ones are in that set I just purchased. So now if I hover over the right-hand corner and I double-click, basically Excel is going to populate every single row with my formula incremented according to the value it's on. So now I can see, for instance, I'm in row 21. My formula has been adjusted to know that it's in row 21. So at this point, after the formula has populated all the cells, now I can actually filter the formula. I'm going to just select the ones that say yes. All right. So I had 107 books in my list that I purchased, and then you can see down here in the corner, looks like it worked because I got 107 of my titles found in this new list. A little more manageable. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is basically just select this whole set and all of this information and make a new spreadsheet out of it that I'm going to prepare for uploading into the knowledge base. So I'm going to copy the whole thing, all the available data, make a new spreadsheet, and then I'm just going to paste in the values. All right, so I should have 107 there. That looks about right. Great. Okay, so there's a little bit of cleanup I'm going to need to do before I load this in. I want to look at these values here. I'm going to have to save the file as a tab delimited file, and when you do that, some of the special things that Excel can do, you want to make sure that basically you've translated all the values into plain text. So in order to do that, any number columns, I'm going to go ahead and select the column, translate them into numbers. I can remove the decimals. This is true for any number that's been translated into that scientific format if your Excel happened to do that. So just to be on the safe side, I'll turn these guys into numbers and OCLC numbers. All right. I am going to change this action column to select, and then again hover over the right hand corner, double click to populate the rest of it. And I am going to clear out this OCLC entry ID column. Okay. And finally, I need to go in and delete the new columns that I had made in order to just do my calculations, so I don't need this book ID column anymore. So just get rid of those two. So I'm going to go ahead and save as call it whatever you want. Just make sure that you change it into text tab delimited format. And it's going to warn me about that. I do want to keep it in the text format. And I'm going to open it with Notepad. And the reason for this is occasionally Excel adds in some weird stuff, like it'll put in these quote marks. So what I always do is I just do a quick edit, replace, and I look for any quotes and replace them with nothing. So I just replace them all, and then I just resave the file. Okay, so now it's ready to be uploaded. So I'm going to go back into the knowledge base, and now I'm going to upload selected. Go. I'm going to choose my file. And submit. And I can review the activity in my activity history. Okay, so now my activity history shows that this has been completed. To my collection. I should see some of the new titles. So I can go back to my original list that EBSCO provided me, and let's look for one of the titles. And there we go, it's been turned on. So it's a good idea to check some of these, after you've uploaded them, make sure that they look okay. Also check your links to make sure that they're proxying correctly and all of that information is there. But at this point, and you're done.